All right, I'm gonna give it a minute. Just doing a couple technical things here. All right. Kind of just starting my day out right now. I'm gonna try to finish this Bob Ross portrait, and then head into work. Basically, selling what I'm using right now. So not these pencils necessarily, but this Paper Republic portfolio. That's the type of stuff that I'm selling all the time. All right. Get everything squared up. You'll have to let me know in the comments how the audio is. I've got noise canceling on at the moment, which kind of makes it sound a little digital, but I live in a noisy building, so it just is what it is. All right, so if you haven't watched any of these yet, I started this with a Blackwing 71 series, which is an extra firm. I use these because you don't have to sharpen them quite as much. It's one of my favorite pencils, that and just the standard extra firms. Same thing, just different series. And then all the fine detail that I do is done with Graph Gear 1000s, 0.3 and a 0.5 for just finer shading. And I use a mono zero eraser. If you have any questions about how I'm doing any of this stuff, drop it in the comments, and if you're nice, I'll answer. All right. Just put something on in the background so I'm not bored out of my mind. All right. Enough stalling. I'll go ahead and start. Watch your ears on this one. I'm going to go ahead and clip my mic to my pencil. Makes it a little bit heavier, but I think the audio might be more interesting for you. Okay, and away we go. Let's try this without the noise canceling. I feel like it makes it too muffled. So right now I'm just adding some contour, a little bit of contrast to sort of make it a little less flat. It's one of the more subtle parts of this style of drawing, but it can go seriously wrong if you don't pay attention. Which I keep getting calls here, so it's hard to pay attention at the moment. Just to let people know, I just noticed somebody saying hi in the chat. I don't really watch the chat super close when I'm drawing because I don't have a moderator, and well, I'm drawing. So I don't mean to be rude. It's just my focus is elsewhere. Alright, well, no one's watching, and I want some coffee, so I'm going to switch over. Let's see, hopefully this won't be too loud for you. I don't ever really go live looking at my camera, but here we go. So this is like the tiny closet that I work in. It's a disused laundry room. Sorry for that. It's I originally wanted to soundproof it and record in here, but it occurred to me that there's no room to play anything because it's you know, not wide enough unless I stand sideways. So now it's just kind of like my art closet. Yeah. Well, here's to trying new things, right? I'm going to finish my coffee and then I'll get back to drawing. I guess this would be a good time for anyone to ask questions. Since you have my undivided attention, I'm not drawing. I could also talk about like some of the stuff that I use. So these are Blackwing pencils. That's the Series 71, which is the Frank Lloyd Wright series. And this is just the natural extra firm. Both the same pencil. This one just has decorative lines on it. You can kind of see them. But I am a Blackwing ambassador, which is cool. So there's links in all of my stuff where you can get these pencils that I use. And then I don't have any journals, I guess, on hand, but I do have, or well, actually, I do. So I started drawing daily in September, almost 4 years ago. And this is what I started in. It's my Paper Republic passport size pocket journal. And so this is where it all started. Originally I was drawing box frame mannequins, which are animatics for storyboarding or, you know, basically showing where a camera and lights would be set up for a film set, because I used to work as a filmmaker and cinematographer and animator, editor, all that stuff. And I started doing those for simple build-outs of sets or music videos, and I'd send them around so people could know exactly what to set up if I was directing remotely. And I've always wanted to learn how to draw, and so I started slowly chipping away at learning vanishing points, like settings in terms of like a cityscape or buildings, and from there I got interested in drawing more photo accurate things. So if it's not a photo accurate building, then maybe like someone's face or hands. And then I just started doing that every day for hours. I think originally I was drawing like 20 to 30 minutes a day, and that moved up to a couple hours a day. And I'd take little breaks here and there, but then I'd always feel the need to go and draw to make up for lost time. But on average, minimum, I draw 20 to 30 minutes a day still. And I'd say the most in one day would be like 4 hours, typically in 1 or 2 sessions. And that's how I've gotten to the point where I can draw somewhat consistently photo accurate pencil portraits. But it all started with this thing, which is a Paper Republic Grand Voyager passport or pocket. And so This is my original one. It's almost 4 years old. This is the Cognac Brown. If you're looking at Paper Republic, that's what it ages into. But this one in particular, so I have a drawing book in here, which is what I'm drawing the Bob Ross portrait in as well. It's just, this is the pocket size, and the Bob Ross one is A4, so it's pretty big. And this is one you've seen me flip through if you've seen any of my shorts. It's, you know, a bunch of different faces and portraits in here. Kind of varying degrees of detail and things like that. Like, see if I can get to a good spot. This is Lawrence Ferlinghetti, famous poet, started City Lights, but it's a lot of stuff like that. And then I also have like my planner and daily notes and things like that in here. But I like to differentiate the types of art that I put in my books. And so I have another book in here that's a little farther towards the back, and that would be like scribble method, ballpoint drawing. So this is a self-portrait wearing that hat. Yeah, this is just done with, I think it was either a Parker Jotter or a, let's see, it may have been a Kaweco Special, the ballpoint with a needlepoint refill. There's one that I've drawn quite a bit. That's Walt Whitman at a slightly younger age than what most people see him at. Been watching Planet of the Apes a lot. If you get this at the right angle, it actually does look like Caesar. Or this is one I've done on repeat quite a bit where I can kind of draw it from memory. And that's all just ballpoint. I think this one's actually a Parker Jotter, so it's the pen that's right there on the side. I collect Parker Jotters. It's one of my favorite pens. It's an International Short Standard ballpoint refill. Actually, I have one tattooed on my arm, if you want to see that. Yeah, so right there. My friend Austin Funk did that. But yeah, a little tattoo of one of my favorite pens. But I've drawn quite a bit with one of those. And then I have a coworker named Parker, and gave him like my most traveled Parker Jotter, which, while I'm talking about it, just killing time here, because honestly, I kind of don't feel like drawing at the moment. I've got like a long day of work ahead of me, but I will draw a little bit more. So here's one of the pen cases that I carry. These are some of my favorites. This one is a Colotino brass ballpoint. This is a Colotino aluminum ballpoint. This one up here, this is a Colotino Italian hand-mixed acetate ballpoint. And the one that I brought these out to show you is actually this. So speaking of Parker Jotters, I've collected them for years, different makes and models. My favorite is the classic stainless steel Parker Jotter. If you go back through my videos, there's live streams of me drawing with one of these that has a microphone attached to it. They kind of have like a strong click and an oversized spring. Every one of them has an arrow for the pin clip, so you can see it there. So there's an older guy that comes into one of the stores that I work in, and he has a Parker Jotter collection. And he always comes in when I'm not there, and he rolls this cart around that has books and all kinds of things he's collected in it. And one day he did actually come in when I was working, and he said that he had something for me, and it was an entire collection of Parker Jotter pens. So mostly variations of this, some branded ones that are from different companies like Washington Apples, things like that. But there's one I've seen only in videos and never in person, and it was my favorite in the collection, and we talked for about 30 minutes, and then at the end of the conversation he gave it to me. So let me see if I can get this where you can see it. It's kind of tough to get it to focus on this, but this is a Kodak cross-branded Parker Jotter. Nothing super special, just a little more rare. It's a black on gold one, and it has Kodak on the Parker Arrow logo. So it's pretty cool. It's a good gift. It's something that I wouldn't be able to find otherwise. But just one more for the collection. So He made me promise that I would actually carry it and use it because he wanted to see it get some use. So I threw a Romeo refill in there, and that's maybe the coolest Parker Jotter that I have now. So hopefully it doesn't break. But yeah. Otherwise, I mainly just carry the stainless steel Parker Jotters, which a lot of the ballpoint drawings that I do have been done with these. They're easy to replace. They're not super expensive. You know, something that it's a good reliable pen. Takes a lot of different refills. All right, well, this has proven to be as boring as I thought it would be. So let me finish my coffee and then I'll go back to drawing. But yeah, this is where it all started. And in a second, when I turn the camera back around, you'll see sort of what it's grown into with A4 size drawings. All right, no questions, nobody's in here anymore. I'm getting like one in, one out kind of thing. Well, let's get back to drawing because this is boring. All right. Give me a minute here to just adjust. All right. I'm just going to put some final touches on this, mainly like the wrinkles in his eyes. I'm going to even out some of the contour of the shading, and then I don't want to go too far into this one. Trying to embrace stopping a little sooner than I previously have on these. You can kind of overwork these a little easily. Alright, sorry for the noise here. I'm going to change to a different pencil. Sorry for the noise, I've got really noisy neighbors. I would turn on noise canceling, but it makes the audio sound weird. I say that to nobody, but if you ever watch this in the archive when they're saved, that's for you then. apologies for the noise. No, it's a different neighbor who's being noisy. Same guy that lets his auto vacuum just go in the tiny room above me for half a day. And then very, very poorly plays 90s acoustic covers and sings flat uh, between like 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. often. Which normally I wouldn't discourage someone like that or criticize, but man, he doesn't make any progress and he just gets louder and louder. Well, I am bored, and it looks good enough for me to call it done. So I'm going to sharpen one of my pencils here and sign it and move on. And that's Bob Ross. Well, I'd say from the numbers of how many people aren't watching, you're as entertained as I am. Trying to get back in the habit of doing regular portraits again. It's kind of a grind, and I also work a day job, so which, speaking of that, I got to leave here in about an hour. So, yeah, so there's Bob Ross. So far in this new book, there's a Hemingway that I bailed on, which I'll eventually do again. There's Bob Mortimer, so I guess 2 Bobs in this book so far. There's Anthony Bourdain, and now Bob Ross. So we'll have to see who the next one is going to be. Maybe someone more exciting. Maybe if people actually join in, I can answer some questions or talk about stuff that might hold the crowd a little bit better. But all these are for sale. I can happily cut them out of here, send the original to you, or prints are available upon request. If you want to commission something, you can go through my social media or preferably my website, and you can commission a portrait of yourself, a loved one, pets, you know. If you want somebody like that you you know, a musician or an actor or someone you like, I'm happy to do commissions for those. But yeah, anyway, well, thanks for the few people that did watch. Appreciate the support. Come back tomorrow and watch me draw then. All right, next time.